Hello, Share Wisdom family. Thank you so much for tuning into this channel. This is where we share everything, all the knowledge that we know with you. Make sure you subscribe, share this video, and enjoy it.
Now, I think I also read in the book, I don't know if you said this or someone else said this,
Yeah.
but the key to living is giving.
Yes.
Now, I think I might have heard you say this actually back when I first saw you when I was 16 at an
Yeah.
event. And I remember thinking, I don't have anything to give. I don't have any money. You know, how am I supposed to invest my money?
Yeah.
10, 20% every month. And then
Yeah.
how can I give on top of that?
Yeah.
But I really understood that, you know, it's so valuable and important to give. And I work
Yeah.
with a lot of nonprofits myself,
That's
building
wonderful.
schools for kids around the
That's
world.
wonderful.
And I've seen a big impact in my life in the way I'm
Well,
able to serve people.
Sir John Templeton told me that he's never seen anyone tithe, which, tithing is usually 10% of what you earn, for at least a decade who didn't become incredibly financially free.
Wow.
And I think the reason is I had a moment like when my whole life changed. It was kind of twofold. I was really young, like yourself back then, right? Working my tail off, trying to build a business. And you
Yeah.
have big goals, you
Yeah.
don't always succeed to start with.
Right,
It doesn't just
right.
come together, right? It was hard. And I remember I was so frustrated because I was working 18-hour days and nothing was working and I was broke and I felt embarrassed, I should be doing better than this.
Sure.
And so I was driving home from Orange County on the 57th freeway in San Gabriel Valley out near a place in Pomona, California. It probably doesn't matter anybody else, but I can remember it so vividly because it was almost midnight. And I was at this breaking point. And then I was like, why am I not, doing better? And then I just pulled over the road and I used to keep these journals. I still have them, written journals. And I wrote in big lines, the secret to living is giving. And I started to cry. And I realized I am so focused on what am I not getting. I'm
Receiving.
not focusing on what I'm giving.
Yeah.
So for 6 months, man, it turned me around. But then, something else to get in your body. It was in my head, it was in my heart, but it had to get in there
Yeah.
to stay. And I started going through some really tough times. And I lost everything financially. And I was mad at everybody because I'd loaned a friend $1,000 and, I'd been doing well. And he didn't even return my phone call.
Oh.
And what changed me was I was down to, I don't know, 22, $23, something like that. I don't know, it was $24. Enough that I knew that I didn't have money for food for the next week, clearly. And I didn't have any prospects. And I was living in Venice in this 400 square foot bachelor apartment, feeling sorry for myself, getting pissed off. And I thought, you know what, I got to eat. So I'm not going to drive my car because I'm not going to spend the gas. I'm not going to pay for parking.
Sure.
I'm going to go to an all-you-can-eat place and load up for the winter, right? So I can get more, like one meal a day.
Right.
And so there's a place called Marina del Rey, not far from Venice. And it's a beautiful community, and it's
Very
right on the water. And there's a place called El Chorrito. It's still there. It's a little restaurant. It had taco bar and all that kind of stuff. So I walked there for the 3 miles, and I go, okay, I'm going to go and load up. And it was all about myself and getting through this. And this woman walked through the door, actually a very attractive lady. That's probably why I caught my attention. And I'm waiting to see who her boyfriend is, and there's nobody up there. There's a little guy down here. It was obviously her son. And he's wearing this 3-piece suit, a little vest. He opens the door for her. He pulls out the chair for her. And it was just, he stared into his mother's eyes. I mean, it was just pierced into her eyes. I don't know what it was, but something about him was just so moving. He was such a sweet, caring, loving young man to his mother that moved me. So I paid for my meal. I don't know what was left, 17, $18. Put it back in my pocket, was left. Walked up to this young man, introduced myself, and I said, hi, I don't remember his name. I think he said his name was Ronnie. And I said, Ronnie, I said, you're a class actor. I saw how you opened the door for your lady. I saw you held out the chair for your lady. He goes, she's my mom. I said, that's even more classy.
Right.
And I said, so cool that you're taking her out to lunch like this. And he goes, well, I'm not really taking her lunch because I'm just 11 and I don't have a job,
Right.
I said, yes, you are. And I had no plan. I just reached in my pocket, took all the money I had, changed dollar bills, and threw it right there in front of him. He looked at me like this. He goes, I can't take that. I said, sure you can. He said, well, why? I said, because I'm bigger than you are. Right? And he got this big grin on his face. His eyes got this big. And I just shook his hand. I didn't even look at his mom. And I just walked out the door. But the reason I tell you the story is I had no car. I had no money. I was euphoric. I was like flying home. I was like, I probably looked like an idiot, probably skipping or something. I mean, I was just, and what I felt was, I should have been like, what the hell did you just do? I have no meal, or are we going to eat?
Right.
I went home that night, I laid out a plan, and the plan was going to take me, 10 days, 2 weeks. So I thought, well, people fast for a week. I could fast for a week,
right,
that
right.
type of thing. And I was in this great mindset about it. And I woke up the next morning, and I get the old regular snail mail shows up. And it's this guy I've called a zillion times who wouldn't return my call. I open it up, there's a check, $1,000
Wow.
plus interest and an apology.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there and I started to cry, honestly, and I was just like, why did this happen, And I don't know if it's true, but I decided that day this happened because I did the right thing. Because I didn't have a plan, it wasn't a strategy. I just felt this little soul beside me. I knew it was right, and I did
Right.
it. And I didn't do it because I thought I could or I couldn't. I didn't even think about it. And that's the day I became a wealthy man, because I didn't have any money, but scarcity left my body. And I had plenty of ups and downs since that time in various times in my life, but I never went back to that, oh my God, how's it going to happen?
Yeah.
It's like breathing. Do you stop and say, God, is there going to be any air before you take a breath? You know it's going to be there.
Right.
You don't run your life by that aspect. And so that to me is what it's about, is showing people, if you won't give a dime out of $1, if you'll never give $1 million out of 10 million or 10 million out of 100 million, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
But if you can do that now, you don't ever get beyond scarcity. You start behind it. You make a decision to get beyond it.